Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Strand Lighting and our presentation today with Richard Pilbrow and Robert Bell on some of the work that they did on Tale of Two Cities. We're really privileged to have Richard join us today. It's an amazing show, and as he's mentioned to me each time, when you go to New York, buy tickets. Buy tickets.
Not when you go to New York, buy tickets.
Sorry, I'll get it right next show. Go to New York, buy tickets. It's a great show. And it's beautiful lighting. I mean, it really is exquisite. And I really, without much further ado, I'd like you to speak with Richard.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. Or afternoon or something. Right. We're going to talk about this show. I'm going to introduce the show. But what we're really here to talk about is the control system and some new things we put together for the show. Basically, it's Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens. Anyone read it? Set in Paris and London. And scenery, brilliant sets by Tony Walton. And basically it consists of 6 units about 24 foot high that roll around the stage the whole evening in about 43 different positions, which is extremely inconvenient if you're trying to light somebody. But there's a whole series of them, and I'm not going to dwell on it. There are things, flying bits come in, and these all different configurations of these towers. Good stuff. Behind the towers is background, which is a front-lit scrim of Paris, which is lit with LEDs, top and bottom. Rob Bell, apart from being a brilliant inventor and all that, programmed the show for me. This was his favorite cue. I found it a tiny bit on the vulgar side, so we didn't use it. But essentially, from the front-lit scrim, you go to a backlit cloth, which is London, which has got a wall of light behind it. All the windows light up separately, and the bridge and the water and some halls and the skyline. So there's a lot of flexibility on that thing. So we studied for months the movement of these damn trucks, which go everywhere. And you'll see the problem of lighting people inside them. We finally decided you had to do this in 2 ways. One is you'd have lights inside the trucks, and the base of each unit is packed with batteries, and there are about 86 channels of battery-powered, radio-controlled, little MR16 units, radio-controlled by City Theatrical, which was absolutely brilliant. And then lighting from outside is a whole series of Vari-lights, BL1000s out front and 3500s overhead and on the sides, shining through all the gaps. So hopefully light the actors without lighting all the steel work. And that sort of works fairly well. So after months of sorting it all out, we came to a sort of pattern, which of course led to a plan. And that's just the overhead stuff. They're about, with all the effects, there are lots of effects, about 1,300 something channels. And in section, overhead stuff here, big batch of stuff high on the sides, because these trucks travel all over the stage, include touching the walls at the side of the stage. So you can't have any side lighting below this level, except for just one thing in the middle and one at the front, one at the back. And these are the backcloths here with the backlight and some big box movies. And the basic units are Vari-light 3500s, thousands, lots of source 4s, and one of my favorite, which is digital pitching light curtains, which are really cool. So, fit up, big show and wonderful crew, led by Mike Ward in back view here. And that's the production desk setup. Things get very over the top in Broadway these days. I forget how many desks there are, about 15, and unfortunately Rick Fisher was here yesterday, who's doing Billy Elliot. He's got 20, which is very beastly of him to win that sort of battle. And lighting had a whole row from one aisle to another. And this is us all at work. And essentially, I decided to go with the light palette with Rob's new software, which he's going to tell you a lot about, which I find extraordinary, which he'll explain why. Tied up with WYSIWYG, which of course Rob originally invented, but gives you interactive capability of focusing moving lights really, really fast. Touch the screen, drag the light, etc., etc., which again he'll show you. And then my particular favourite, which is Virtual Magic Sheet, which you see here, which again we'll show you in detail, Eric Cornwell's software I've been using 4 or 5 years, which is just an extraordinary new method of looking at your lighting on stage that, to me, enormously speeds up the lighting process. Because I do have a sort of built-in view that the stage is for actors to rehearse on, not for us to fiddle around with the lights hour after hour after hour. So I do believe in working fast, and this device allows you to work bloody fast. So, the digital light curtains in action, and they are rather wonderful, moving great sweeps of colour across the stage, rather ostentatious. There's no masking, and there's a lot of smoke, so you can't help but notice the lights, which is amusing. Nothing subtle about it. And then all these units which trundle around the stage to create little domestic scenes in various spots. And then there are all sorts of other stuff which I won't go into. They have a revolution on stage where everyone gets beastly and starts chopping people's heads off. The LED front light is quite wonderful. We do pans across the stage of changing colour as people walk across the stage. The background can change colour, which is really very cool. And they all get very excited and storm the Bastille, all that sort of stuff. Then they win the revolution and things get worse and worse. They start chopping people's heads off. Lots of gobos and lots of bright light and lots of red light. And they have trials, and they get put in prison, and you get your head chopped off, and people die. Very lights looking pretty, and then they get to the guillotine at the end, and Carton, who's the hero, goes to heaven. So that's the show. And this is the team of us, Rob and me, the director, brilliant new guy, Warren Carlyle, and Tony Walton, the designer. And so the plan evolved. And that's a close-up of the production desk.